This is Business Rockstars, and this is my guest, Melissa Wong, co-founder and CEO of Retail Zipline. Melissa, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for those who are not familiar with you and your entrepreneurial background, tell us about your experience at Gap and how that kind of led you to start Retail Zipline.
Yeah, so a lot of times I tell people I'm an accidental entrepreneur.
Yep.
So I spent 10 years before Zipline within Gap and always focused on store executions and communications. And executive to executive, leader to leader, one of the things that we always found is that leaders were giving stores directions on strategies, new product placements, new product flow, marketing. Mm-hmm. They'd make the decisions, then they'd go into stores and it wouldn't have gotten done. Mm. And so when we asked the stores, why didn't you do this thing? It's, significant to the business. The stores would always say, I missed the memo. Someone else was supposed to do it. I didn't know it was a top priority. Mm. And it really boiled down to a lack of effective communication channels between headquarters and stores.
So tell our audience, what is Retail Zipline?
Yeah. So Retail Zipline is a leading communication and task management platform. So it really helps headquarters bring their brand strategies to life by aligning teams, by boosting store execution and engagement. So store execution is the stores actually doing the things that we're asking them to do and improving the store experience.
So what was the journey kind of like, starting at Gap and working there for so long and then making that transition to being a CEO of a company, of your own company?
So I'll be honest, it was really hard. Mm-hmm. As you can imagine, Gap is very structured, right? And there's a lot more bureaucracy. And so starting as a founder, I was really lucky to have an amazing co-founder as a partner in crime, but we had to create our own structure. We talked to a lot of other founders, investors on best practices, how to company build, because that's new to us. And so I like to say we brought the culture of Gap, which is great, into our company. And then we leveraged the learnings from other Bay Area and Silicon Valley companies to kind of build the best practices for how we operate.
And did you leave Gap and then start your own business, or were you working? Okay, so you went cold turkey.
Yeah, it was super scary. Yeah. So I always tell people, it was, this kind of the point in time where I had so much fear.
Right.
And I was talking to my mom and I was talking to, all my friends. And then my 80-year-old Asian mom said to me, she's like, well, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, you can always come back and live with Dad and I. And I was like, we're going to make this successful.
Yeah. You're like, that's the motivation I needed.
Totally.
So Serena Williams has invested in Retail Zipline. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So she's very inspirational.
Yes.
And one of Serena's thesis, or one of her missions, is really to help everyday people with their everyday lives. Mm. And really where we dovetail with that is our mission is to improve the lives of 1 million retail employees by 2025. Okay. And retail is the most populous job in America. Mm. So we believe that if we can make an impact on the way that retail operates and works, we're really transforming the way that America works.
Yeah.
And with Serena's, mission of helping everyday people, really that's a really great blend, and we're excited to have her.
So did she approach you guys, and how did that whole process work?
Yeah. So Serena has an investment team that helps her look at deals and evaluate fits for her.
Right.
I think we're one of actually her, a few of SaaS companies, so she doesn't have that many. But they approached us. They said, it's a great fit. Can we learn more? And then as we went through the process, we realized how great the fit truly was.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, female founders and leaders. Right. And also, what we both are bent out on solving in the industry.
Yeah. And what was the biggest challenge you faced when you were starting out Retail Zipline? And kind of what's the biggest challenge you also face today as the company grows?
Yeah. So those are very different challenges, I think. When we first started, I think actually the biggest challenge was fear, right? So fear of failure, fear of the unknown. Right. Is this going to work? It was almost more combating personal demons. And now our challenge is scaling. Yeah. So scaling founder knowledge, ensuring that the culture and the quality of customer care that we're known for scales, as well as maintaining this like cult-like following that we have for our product.
Right. And how was it like growing a company culture from the ground up?
Yeah, I think, it's interesting. Everyone has always told us, culture kind of takes a life of its own. And I was like, maybe, does it? But it really does.
Yeah.
And I think we were really lucky. Our first handful of employees, they had the same values as we did, really just like making an impact on people's lives, making people's lives easier.
Right.
And organically, like our culture just grew to take on a life of its own. And it is more of a retail culture in a technology company. And it's actually something that we're known for.
That's great.
Inclusive, collaborative, having empathy for others and teamwork. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't think it's just us. I think it's, a lot of our employees too.
And if someone's watching and they want to learn more about Retail Zipline, where should they go?
Great question. So the website is retailzipline.com. So I've been saying Zipline, but we really are like Retail Zipline, which is like fast, fun, efficient communication.
I love it. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us today. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Great. Thanks so much.
This is Business Rockstars. That was my amazing guest, Melissa Wong, co-founder and CEO of Retail Zipline.